to cloud. You got it. All right, cool. Welcome to the Schnitzer Master Agency Huddle. It's Monday, September 29th. I'm coming to you live from Perdido Key, Pensacola area. So shout out to my Florida fam. I am down here. All right, guys. We always like to start off with the Meet the Leaders page here on our Monday calls, just so you guys know who the backbone is supporting y'all and growing your agency. We've got people all the way from team leader to key leader to agency owner. We've got agency directors on this team. We did agency owner last time. So put your closest key leader in the chat if you're direct to a key leader, or put your agency owners, your closest agency owner's name in the chat. Who you guys direct to? Cool. All right. Well, hey guys, look, this is the squad right here. We've got room for more people. You guys know our vision for this thing is to help 100 people in the next 5 years become agency owners and experience financial freedom. We need to fill this page up. We got a lot more room. This is if I were new schedule, this is for really anyone in their first 6 months. You want to keep the calls that you visit, that you attend each week on a very limited basis, because you cannot make all of them. There's probably, I don't know what, 16, 17 different training calls every week. You can spend your whole week training, or choose your favorites. If I were new, this is what I would focus on. I would go, obviously on Mondays, we've got the Schnitzer Master Agency call. We've got top producer call on Tuesdays, Wednesday national call, new agent welcome call Wednesday nights, which this is for anyone, even if you need a refresher, this is for anyone in their first 90, 120 days. You want to go to it at least 2 or 3 times, and make sure that that information is just solid on your brain as you start in the field. It'll be a really good one for you guys. And then Be a Better Builder on Thursdays. These are all located in the Mac Room. You can find us there. Here's a calendar of the Mac Room for anyone who's never been there before. Everyone's name that you see down on each column means that that person will be live dialing. So what, today's Monday, we had Giovanna probably booked 32 appointments on 12 leads. Is that right, Giovanna? Sound about right?
Not today. Today was like a struggle day, but yes, I did fine.
I've never listened to anyone dial where every person who picks up the phone when Giovanna calls them, they're like, "Oh yeah, we were just waiting on your call. You sound super sweet. We'd love to work with you. Should we start with our bank account information, or do you want to ask us some questions first?"
Oh, so funny. So not true today, but
I've actually heard one very similar to that, and it's all I remember now about your dial sessions. The guy answered the phone and he's like, "Oh yeah, this sounds great. Yeah, what information do you need?" So, anyways, if you want to listen to the pro do it, I think, Giovanna, it's posturing, in my opinion. Within the first 10 seconds of one of your clients answering the phone, they know the difference between you and probably what you sounded like as a rookie. And I think that your dial sessions go really smooth because of your posturing and your tone, and the way that you help kind of bring down that wall for people when they answer the phone. So all I'm trying to say here is, if I were brand new, I would love to hop in the Mac Room and listen to someone like Giovanna dial, because I'm listening for more than just words. I'm listening to the way that she is, the way that her tone is. I'm listening for posturing. I'm listening for all those things as I'm new. So thank you for everyone who signed up for live dials today. We've got Trisha Benish. We've got Sean Drew Banks, a few other people this afternoon. So make sure, if you're new, you're hopping in and listening to people. It's a great opportunity. We are at the end of the month. You guys got a couple more days to get things issued. You guys can see here, this is the Symmetry calendar month. Got a couple more days to get things issued, and we have already started October. So we want to make sure you guys know it's a 5-week month. It's time to get things done. It's a 5-week month. I can see a few faces on my screen that are getting pumped up just hearing that. Guys, if you know the promotion guidelines, you know a 5-week month is a huge blessing. So whether this is the first month of 2 that you need, or this is the second month of 2, or the second month of 3, whatever promotion you're running after, really cool month of October, because people are back home. They're done with summer sports. Their kids are back in school. It's time to sell some life insurance. It's time to experience a 5-week month to start a promotion. Guys, it's Q4. Q4, right? We got one more quarter to end the year strong. So let's springboard off that 5-week month and do it big. All right, Symmetry Fall Tour. I heard a few of y'all want to go to these tours. I would if I was close. If I was within 6 hours, I'd be making the drive. Okay. If you're within 6 hours of one of these events, hop in a car, carpool with a buddy. If you guys want to go over to HQ, I believe there is information there now. I checked Saturday. There wasn't any information there yet on the specifics. Giovanna, do you know if those are up yet? I know some people are wanting to get hotels and figure out travel. So just stay tuned to HQ. You guys can go to those events. Let's go, Emily. We'll see you in Phoenix. Come on, make the trip. All right. And if we don't see you in Phoenix in April, we definitely want to see you in March in Dallas at Ignite. This is probably our biggest, well, it's probably second biggest conference you'll go to out of the year besides the Symmetry National Conference that they host every year in Denver. This one is one that you will not want to miss. Wilbur's going to be there. Giovanna's going to be there. Bob Greenwood's going to be there. I can see Rod on my screen too. Rod's going to be there. Guys, everyone's going to be there. Okay. There's a reason why this is a really good event. You're going to go home with a lot of value. So make sure you guys are signing up for that. This one's really easy. All you got to do is take a picture of my Venmo there. Send me money for your ticket. I'll get you signed up. You'll get a confirmation email. And then as you get closer to that event, you want to make sure you check out the hotels and all the event info. It's going to be a really good one, guys. Just get your ticket now is what I'd recommend. Knock that part out of the way, right, Giovanna? That way you have your ticket, you have your seat secured, you've made the decision, and then you can figure out the rest later. We got plenty of time. We're just telling you about it early. So, contests for those who are selling tickets that are promoting this event. You guys already know what the drill is. We're giving away VIP and elite seating. Who wants to be elite? Put elite in the comments. I think this word means something around here. Anyone want to be elite? All right, cool. We got a few people who want to be elite. Maybe we'll talk about that today. I don't know. Rod, what you got up your sleeve? Ethan is elite. I love that. All right. So here's a list of everyone who signed up. Love to see the new names on there. Trey Thorson got signed up. Trey's a brand new agent. Everyone give Trey a little shout out in the comments there. I think he's the only new one from last week. If you don't see your name on this list, shoot me a Slack message. I will make sure that you get on there. All right. Shout outs from the national call. You guys, we never even take this picture down. It's the one and the only Venus Diaz getting national call shout outs literally every single week. So we hardly ever take this down. Great job, Venus. Look at that smile. Hopefully you meet on Zoom with people so they can see your $1 million smile. You were number 2 agency director producer. Let me move my screen here so I can see that big number. 12,697 in premium. You were the number 3 annuity producer at 369,229. You were the number 5 reset SME at 15,000. Venus, you on the call? I can only see a couple people on my screen.
Yes, sir. Wouldn't
Dude,
miss
you're a
it.
beast. You're a beast. How'd those reset appointments go?
Amazing. I love that there's so many new agents kind of jumping on and ready to learn and just asking the questions so they can get profitable while they're learning.
Yeah. So let me walk through this with you. You mean if I'm brand new and I'm just getting through the reps, I can reset to you and you're gonna do something with my client? What are you gonna do with my client?
Absolutely. So
Walk me
we're
through
going to
this.
do a little bit of kind of discovery, see what we can do to be a resource for them. So whether that is debt-free life, it could be safe money retirement, or it could be a second shot at a no sale reset, whatever that looks like for them.
Love it. So really all I need to do as a new agent, if I'm not able to connect with them on the first sale, I'm resetting to Venus's calendar. Guys, we have a couple SMEs on the team. I know Venus, Giovanna, we've even got Jared on there. We've got, shout your name out in the chat if you're a resetter on the team. Who else do we got, Giovanna? We got Bert Wright on a reset. Yeah. Okay, cool. We've got several folks for you guys, and you'll find this in HQ. If you don't know how to do a reset, if you're like, hey, I got a client, I know that there's something more there. Venus, I don't know the exact like type of. Actually, I'm gonna put you on the spot. You're pretty good with numbers. Let's just say this was one policy, a $369 annuity, and you sold it. Like you did all the work, because I don't know how to do annuities. Who are we talking? I'm the simple guy stuff. Term policies I'm good with. All right, tell me how much I would make as a brand new agent if I just reset this client into your calendar. You sold them a $369,000 annuity. How much would I make?
So it depends on the contract and the age of the client and the product. There's a couple of variables, but generally you can expect anywhere between 6,000 and 7,500 on that number.
Okay, take home on my end, and then you make 70% or 60% of that.
Correct.
So you make a little bit more. Okay, yeah, I saw in the comments. Oh my gosh. Yeah, okay, so you guys, just to let you know, 369 Venus, this is definitely not to put the deal down because this is an excellent deal, but rather small deal comparatively, right? To some of the cases that we see. Yeah, I've seen you guys, these commissions can get up there towards 15, 20, 25, $30,000 from the resetting agent side of things very, very quickly. And I just think we got to ask the right questions. So, here's the cool thing. Plenty of opportunity. Okay? Fill your absolutely reach out to your closest upline if you have questions about how to reset. But I mean, I'm looking at Giovanna right now. Giovanna, you tell me if I end up being brand new, it's my second week and I've got my first deal underneath my belt. And then my second appointment that I run, the client tells me that they're fully covered, have millions of dollars in life insurance, and they're not interested in doing anything else. Where do I go? What would I do? What would that sound like?
Uh,
Giovanna, would I just call you? Like what would that handoff look like? You're muted.
sorry. So you would schedule them on the calendar in the FIF section of HQ.
Yep. Yep, that's it. And there's a easy reset button. So you really, what do I need? First name, last name, phone number, email? All right, cool. Venus, we celebrate you and honor you for that. Thanks for letting us do a little example out of your numbers here. But yeah, resets, guys. All right, Sean Banks, week 919, number 4 passive income earner. You guys just heard us talk about it on the last screen. What does commission look like? I should have just held my tongue there, Venus. Here it is. Here's the commission for the agent that reset to your calendar. So great job, Sean Drew. We've got Eleanor McNamara, week 919, number 5 producer in the company, $20,000 week. Let's go. And we've got Eleanor also promoted to elite producer, minimum of $30,000 net place 2 months in a row. This is amazing. Guys, this is not easy. Okay. First and foremost, I want to give respect to the elite status. Being an elite producer is not easy. I know Rod's like looking at me. He's like, dude, I could do this. I just need I just need focus. Okay. I just need focus. All right. Easier said than done. 2 months in a row is really tough, guys, to get your business to line up that way. I know plenty of producers who have submitted upwards towards $45,000, $50,000 in per month for a 2 month span and still missed the elite producer promotion by a couple dollars because things do have to line up perfectly for you to hit those type of numbers. If you're elite status already, you know what I'm talking about. So, congratulations, Eleanor. Amazing job. You actually crushed what you needed. I think she finished at 47 and 45 net place 2 months in a row. So excellent job. Way to make it to the elite club. This is where only a few people hang out. Not a lot of people hang out here, right, guys? Not a lot of people hang out here. Top producer is 20,000 2 months in a row. I think a lot of people make it to that status once they really figure out what they're doing, but not many are elite. All right. So amazing, amazing job. I love the word too. We got to have like an elite trophy. What do you guys think? We got to do that. All right. Capital bonuses. We've got Giovanna. Let's go. $1,000. Schnitzer fam bringing in 1,300. These are all capital bonuses. It looks like Granzard fam bringing in $1,000 on a, guys, these are capital bonuses paid for year-over-year growth. You do have to validate contracts. There are different things that you need to make sure you hit to qualify year-over-year. But if you see growth in your business, they're giving you a check just for growing your dang business. How cool is that, Giovanna? We just get a check for doing what we already wanted to do.
I didn't even know I was getting it. I looked at my account. I'm like, Symmetry sent me $1,011.
Yeah.
I
Dude,
had no
imagine
idea.
getting that. I don't know how much your mortgage is. Probably what? You need 2 or 3 of those to pay your mortgage off every
Yep.
month? Probably
Yep.
3. Yeah. Guys, this is incredible. And we didn't really ask for it. It's not like we said, oh, hey, I'm going to need an extra bonus. These overrides, it's not a good enough deal. No, this was actually this is on top of overrides, on top of personal production. So really cool that these agents participated in capital bonuses. We also have Eleanor participating in producer bonus. That paycheck, again, for doing her job, doing what she already did, she net placed 47 and 45. I could be off on the numbers, Eleanor, if you're on here. Correct me in the comments. But so she issued 45, 47 at 110% contract level. You guys do the math there. Really, really good. And on top of that, a $2,700 bonus. Where can you go? Where can you go? New riders from last week. Let's go. Let me move my screen here so I can see these people's names. Give it a shot here. My best. Sean Sherrill. That was easy. $122 one app. Veronica Moise. 128 one app. Trey Thorson. 1335 one app. Alma Valenciano. 2252, 2 apps. Great job for our new riders from last week. Welcome to the team. Welcome to the show. It's time. If you could sell one, you guys say it in the comments. Finish my sentence. If you can sell one, how many can you sell? You can sell 1 million, right? You can do it over and over and over. This is the heartbeat of our business, guys. You figure out how to help a family. I say this all the time. You can't unride that bike. You literally can't unride that bike. Once you know how to do it, you're familiar with the carriers, you're familiar with underwriting. The only thing getting in the way of you riding 5K weeks is you. That's it. That is it. All right. Great job, new riders. Top producers from last week. Let's go through just top 6 because we want to get to our special guest. We've got Teresa Kelly, 6,022. Actually, you know what here? I'm not doing you guys a solid. We need to talk about everyone who's over 5K. Let me move my screen here. All right, 5K board, starting with Sarah Neal, 5,088, just making it over the 5K mark. 3 apps. Great job, Sarah Neal. Jacob Chenier, 5798, 4 apps. Let's go, Jacob. That's a good. That 5K week looks good on you, my guy. You switched up your calendar for 1 week and got really intentional. And you don't have to tell everyone it was my fault, okay, Jacob? It was all you. All right, great job, guys, for 5K. And then top 6, we got Teresa Kelly, 6,022, 4 apps. Tim Robson, 6,094, 5 apps. Tim, it looks good seeing you up there every week, buddy. Good job. Rodion Savelier, the Russian Rocket, aka Affordable Underwriter, 7212, 5 apps. Great job. Venus Diaz, 7324, 4 apps. Great job, Venus. Joseph Helms, squeaking out a W over Venus. He's at 7904, 8 apps. Great job, Joseph. That's an incredible week, man. I know you're going for 10. Fell a little bit short, but still an incredible week. And then Bob Greenwood, 11,934, 4 apps. Bob Greenwood, that is a healthy case size, my friend. Can we say healthy case size? We like that. That's really good. Awesome. Cool. Love to see it, man. You're excellent at what you do. Slacker of the week last week, huh? Coming in hot with the top of the production board. Here's for the month of September. Let's celebrate top 6. Bob Greenwood, just talking about you, 15, 3, 13, 6 apps. Wilbur Smith, 15, 8, 34, 16 apps. Joseph Helms, 17, 2, 12, 22 applications. Rod Savelier, 24,518, 15 apps. Eleanor McNamara at 26,852, 11 apps. And Venus Diaz, you take it home, girl. 28,489, 16 apps. Venus, is that capped? Just give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. That's capped. Okay, cool. So really probably closer to 40K a month. Great job. Way to go, guys. It's incredible. Look what y'all did in a month. That's amazing. All right, this is all September. Road to ownership. This page, this is really special to us, guys, because we got to talk about the room that's being made on this team to grow and build as a leader. I mean, look at the people to your left and right that are winning. And just be thankful for them, guys, because we're not a team that keeps secrets. We're not a team that steps on toes to get somewhere. We're a team that collaborates and celebrates. Look at everyone leaning on each other right now. All right. We have a full page of people that are in qualification sites for an agency owner run. Let's talk about them real quick because this is for the entire month. All right. So for key leader, you would need 20,000 2 months in a row. For agency owner, you're going to need 30,000 in net place premium 3 months in a row. Let's start today, top 7. Great job to everyone who was on the board, but we'll go through top 7 for sake of time. Team Robson, 20,000, 21 apps and 4 riders. We had Team Hadley at 21,000, 19 apps, 5 riders, 1 new rider. Great job, Team Hadley. Team Bradford, 22,000, 10 apps, 3 riders. Team Savelier, 33,000, 414, 5 riders. Team Greenwood, 33,522, 18 apps, 4 riders. Team Goldsmith, 45, 885, 31 apps, 5 riders. Team Neal, 72,000, all the way on top, 50 applications and 9 riders. Great job, Sarah Neal. That's incredible. Great job to everyone who is building right now. Those are pretty stinking good numbers. Sarah Neal, come on. You're doing more in a month there than most agency owners do. Most young agency owners. That's incredible. Great job. Here's your base shops, guys. Like I said, Sarah, you're competing with the base shops right now. 70,000 for the month. Look where you would land. Top 6. Great job, everyone, in the month of September. I cannot believe it's October already, but we had Team Diaz base shop finish 5 new riders. We had Team Helms finish at 50,000, 3 new riders. Team Smith, 53, barely got them. 47 apps, 9 riders. Team Granzer, 93,000, an annual premium, 13 riders, 1 new. And Team Schnitzer, great job, guys. 112,000, 84 apps, 19 riders, 3 new. The cool thing that we all get to celebrate right now is that we helped a lot of families. We helped out 300 families last month, guys. Let's give it a round of applause for everyone who wrote an app last month, because this is the heartbeat of our business. We couldn't go provide a good income for our family. We couldn't go dream for time freedom. We couldn't go dream for a better life than what we had previously if we're not helping families. You guys remember what the core and heartbeat of what we do is. So way to go, everyone who wrote and helped a family out last month. That is just incredible. I think I'm done here with slides. I ended that a little bit early. Rod, how we doing, bro? Do I got Rod on the call?
Yes, you do.
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
You enjoying the Florida weather?
I'm enjoying it, man. Can you tell I'm a little bit sweaty?
You got a
I'm not used to it.
nice little tan going.
So why don't you give I'm not sure if Brad's on yet. If he is, you can introduce him. Why don't you give everyone a taste of what they are going to get today? Give them a prequel, and we'll get started here, man.
Yeah, I would love to. So, I mean, Brad Smith, top of the company. He's a phenomenal person. The reason why I love Brad Smith is he's super genuine, and he's a very big thinker. So, in this call, we're going to expect a lot of mindset, a lot of understanding how to view the bigger picture, and I'm just going to dig into his story a little bit.
All right, can we tell everyone how this came about?
Please, you want me to tell you?
All right, little backstory here. I'll give the backstory and then I'll pass it over. So Rod, actually, you know what? I'll take a moment to honor Rod here for
None
a
of that.
second.
Are you serious?
I am serious. We got that came at perfect timing. I am serious. Can I just honor my boy real fast? Oh, I love Zoom calls. Guys, so just for Rod, I don't even want to mention his age because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how old you are. You can always show up and make an impact on people. I want you guys to put a 3 in the chat if Rod has made an impact on you since you've been here. I know he hasn't been here for very long, but Rod, I want to see how many people you touch through the way that you show up with positivity, with a lot of energy. If you guys know, this guy's got energy for days like I think I wake up every day excited and then I hop on the phone with Rod and he goes, "What's up? Good morning, man of God. Today's the day, bro. Today's the day. We only got today. I'm thankful I get today with you. I'm thankful we get the opportunity to serve God today. I'm thankful we get the opportunity to go and inspire others today. Let's make the best of it. Let's go." Like this is the type of phone call I get. Sometimes at 7 in the morning. He doesn't wake up quite early enough for the 6 a.m. crew because we already have the group chat going at that point. But dude, I'm just so proud of you, and I want to leave age out of this because I think, we have some people in this company, they're in their 40s or 50s and look up to you. And they say, that's someone I want to move like, that's someone I can get behind, because of how committed you are, because of how committed you are to personal development and growth and just asking questions. And I've heard that there's a common string of questions you're asking right now that are deeply rooted in you wanting to become a bigger person. Am I right?
Yeah, for sure.
And the right opportunities for yourself. So with that being said, dude, just want to honor you. You've made an impact already in the short period of time you've been here. So anyways, I get to watch from the sidelines. I got the best, I'm on the field with y'all, but I get the best job here because I get to watch from the sidelines and I've seen Rod move in a way that I'm super proud of. So I called him up one day and I said, dude, I want you to run a team call. I'm going on vacation. I'd love to just sit back and learn on those couple weeks and kind of hear from some more people on the team. I want you to pick anyone in the entire company and you get to interview this person and you can ask them their secrets and you can honor this person and you can, celebrate them for the impact that they probably don't even know that they made in your life. And what'd you say? You said,
Brad Smith for sure.
yeah, hands down. That's what you said.
Yeah, it's just one thing about Brad Smith, and I was at conference, and I heard a lot of great speakers. But man, he hit me in the stomach every time he spoke. I was just like, he was saying like the one thing I love that he said is like, how would you want your son to look up to you? And that was like, I was like, dude, I want to be the best. And he was also saying one thing is like, a lot of y'all only going 80% in. You know, a lot of y'all have never even seen what it looks like to go all the way in. And that called me higher too, you know. But the last thing I want to say about Brad Smith is I stopped him for like just walking around. And I was like, man, I thought I was talking to my best friend for like 20 minutes. We were just talking. He's very genuine. That's why I wanted to pick Brad Smith. Yeah.
Thank you. That is awesome to hear. Wow. That is awesome. Love that. I'm
What's
glad to be
going
with you guys.
what's going on,
Yeah,
Brad?
welcome in. We don't get to hang out too much over here. So we're thankful to steal your time, and I want to kind of unpin myself and let Rod take over here, Brad, but I appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate you too.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah, Scott, you're so inspiring to so many people in this company. Congratulations. I know it's been a few months now, but hitting 130 is huge accomplishment. So grateful for you and all your hard work and this whole team leading from the front.
Brad, how are you doing today, my man?
I am doing awesome. I'm having a great day. Been
It's good to
busy
hear.
already.
Yeah,
So
you're having a busy day, he said?
yeah, hosted Michael Matthews' call a couple hours ago. Jim Russman's the last hour, and now excited to spend some time with you guys on this one. So it's been pretty busy.
Yeah, Craig McManaman told me you one thing you told him is a busy calendar is a full bank account.
That's right.
So that's the one thing I learned from that. But man, I want to know a little bit about your backstory because you had a finance degree. And
Good.
10 years ago, about 10, 11 years ago, you and your brother had a mattress business that was, revenue about $5 million around there, right? And he said it took you about 10 years of blood, sweat, and tears to get there. I want to kind of know a little bit how that started and kind of also just I want to start there for now.
Yeah. I think I've always kind of seen myself as an entrepreneur. I'm not sure where I got it from. Probably my mom's dad. He was the only entrepreneur in my entire family history that I'm aware of. Everyone else was in medicine. So I just grew up thinking I was going to go into medicine.
Yeah.
My dad's a doctor, grandpa was a doctor, uncle was a doctor, my mom's a nurse practitioner, my wife's a nurse practitioner, and there's more and more. Like everyone was in medicine. So I always thought that's what I was going to do. And I kind of grew up with, you see a good lifestyle and you want it. And I thought that medicine was going to be the way to get there until I realized that I didn't really want my dad's lifestyle.
Mm.
I wanted my mom's lifestyle. She enjoyed the income. I saw my mom all the time, but I never saw my dad. And I was just like, man, and then I also just felt like the further I went in school, the dumber I felt. Like all my friends, it's just like having to study 5 times harder and not getting as good at grades. And I was just like, maybe this isn't for me. And I met somebody that was in business and just had the lifestyle that I wanted, time and money and influence, and everyone looked up to this person. And there was a couple people in my church like that too. And so I decided in the middle of, I finished pre-med, but I decided to switch to finance and never used it. And I decided to start a business in college. Matt and we started a business, and of all things, it was a network marketing business. Never heard of network marketing before. And we thought it sounded fun. Like we get to recruit our friends and make money off of all these people. And so we decided to do that. And we ended up making 92,000 in our senior year of college doing that. Um, getting kind of made fun of by our accounting teacher, who we actually made more than he did that year. And I realized that maybe as good as some of these guys are intending, maybe I need to learn from people who have the lifestyle that I want.
Mm.
So, and in business, that's kind of hard to do normally. We started a mattress business because a friend of ours was selling mattresses, and it was kind of like, and I know it's like the most odd thing. Like, why would you come out of college selling mattresses? But this guy was making over 100 grand a year 20 years ago doing this, and we thought, let's just do this until we figure out what we want to do. And we grew it, and it was a lot of hard work. We ended up getting into manufacturing, manufacture our own brand. We sold on the internet and became the third largest memory foam mattress seller on the internet. And we were problem solving. We were creative. We took memory foam mattresses and built this machine out of farm equipment that would fold it and squish it down and vacuum seal it and roll it up, and we would FedEx it to people's houses when no one was doing that on the internet. No one thought it would work, and we grew it to about 5 million a year. And but we weren't keeping any of it. We
Mm.
were making it and then spending it, and just couldn't figure out how to keep a profit. So when the economy went down in 2008, we held on and just kind of went into a tailspin. And the thing about being in business is you're the last one to be paid. You got to pay everyone else before you get paid. And it just seemed like there was no money left over at the end of the month to take an income. Some months were good, some months we'd lose money. So we ended up maxing out credit cards, trying to save the business in the last couple of years and taking no income. And we closed the doors with about $285,000 in debt,
Mm.
maxed out on every credit card. And unfortunately, my parents had co-signed those loans because they believed in us a little bit too much.
Yeah.
So we had to figure out how to get out of this. And we went almost a year of trying different things until I found Symmetry. And I didn't think insurance. I mean, that was the furthest thing that I was thinking would be the answer. Um, a friend of mine called me and he said, "Hey, I found something. I think you'd be really good at it. I know things are really tough right now. You should take a look." And I said, "Oh man, I appreciate you thinking about me. What is it?" And he said, "It's insurance."
Yeah.
And I said, "Man, things are bad, but they're not that bad." I didn't know. I didn't know the size of the industry. I didn't know the amount of millionaires that are created in this industry. I didn't know the impact that it could have on people. All I knew is I had a couple friends that actually did really well, but everyone avoided them. No one wanted to hang out with them. Every conversation became about insurance or about getting referrals or trying to recruit you. And it was just like, I didn't want to feel unemployed every single week and the hustle and the grind and but he was doing really well. And I found out that they have leads. And that
Mm.
was really interesting to me. So I went down to the corporate office and I met with, you guys got to understand, back then, like I think we did like 265 million as a company last year.
Yeah.
The year before when I joined, it was 10 million. So it was a pretty small business. It felt bigger than what it was, but looking back, it was really small. And it was Brian Delaney doing the corporate overview. I went into my interview and it was Edward Pritchett, Brian Delaney, Griff Martin, and Doug Suttonfield on one side of the desk, and then me. And I had not been in that position where I was on that side of the desk since high school. I hadn't had a real job since high school. I had just been an entrepreneur. And I remember after we closed the business down and I'm filling out a resume for the first time and I'm applying for jobs and I'm looking at the income, the salary that I think I could probably get. And it was so depressing because I was doing the math and it was going to take me 30 years just to get to zero, just to pay
Mm.
off this debt and have nothing.
Yeah.
And then I find Symmetry. You guys know, I don't know how many people feel this way, but put a one in the chat if you feel like the entrepreneurial spirit is a real thing. It's a part of you. It's something that is tied to who you are, to your identity. I think that the work that you do is a reflection on who you are, and having the ability to put your last name on your work versus somebody else's last name on your work. I felt like I was taking a piece of who I am and my identity and giving it away every time I would hit apply, apply, apply to a different job and to never be able to get it back. And I found Symmetry and I thought, okay, this is a company that I can basically have a job where I'm self-employed, but I can also over time build a business and use that entrepreneurial spirit to create something.
Mm.
And it was exciting to me. So, and they have a system. They have something I don't have to recreate it. I don't have to reinvent the wheel. I can just take what's proven. I see all the evidence that it's working and I can just do it. And so I can't take any credit for our success. I really can't. I had Edward Pritchett as my mentor, Brandon Casey to follow and to look up to, Brian Pope and all his experience I knew that he was at the front of the line and they were just following him. And so I just decided to put my ego aside and stop
Mm.
trying to make it better Stop trying. And I've always thought I've had good ideas. But the reality is that my ideas got me where I was, which was broke and unhappy. So until I can get into the top five, four, three in the company, I'm not gonna use my ideas. I'm gonna use their ideas. They have the results. So I can trust their results and I can trust their advice. And so
Mm,
even though there were things that I would question, man, why do we do it this way? It seems like it'd be better if we did it that way. I kept reminding myself, your ideas got you broke. Your ideas got you unhappy. Just trust their ideas for a period of time and just put in the work, be consistent. Edward Pritchett said one of the best advices I'm going to give you is even though you're in business for yourself, treat this like a job. Have a schedule. Be consistent with your lead purchases. Every single week you need new leads. Every week you need a certain amount of activity. Be consistent and treat it like a job. And over time, you're going to start seeing the results you're looking for.
mm,
And so that's all that we did. Even though there were things that were uncomfortable, like recruiting right away. I had zero intention on recruiting right away. How many of you guys have recruited to anything before? I had recruited to a couple of things in the past, and I didn't have a warm market left. It was a burnt market. No one wanted to listen to me, and I didn't have the money to pay for cold market. But when I went to a boot camp and I have the five top most successful people on a panel on bar stools, and they asked the same question to all of them. If you could go back in time and start over again, what would you do differently? And every single one gave the same answer. I'd recruit from day one. I'd recruit from day one. I'd recruit from day one. And I said to myself, I got to listen to the ideas with the people that have the results I'm looking for, whether I would do it or not, whether it's an idea I would have, whether it's comfortable or not. Because here's the thing, I was already the most uncomfortable in my life
mm.
with my finances, with my relationships, with the way I look at myself in the mirror. I was uncomfortable. I was more uncomfortable staying where I was at than doing what they suggested I do. So I just decided I'm going to choose my discomfort and I'm going to just do what they teach me to do, what they say. And looking back, 8 months into the business, we're doing 100,000 a month. 4 months later, 200,000 a month. 6 months later, 300,000 a month. 6 months after that, 400,000 a month, and it was just continual growth. And again, it's just because we decided to just put in the activity and be consistent.
That's so good. One thing I want to ask here is, I mean, that's a lot of debt, a lot, and that amount of debt will, cripple a lot of people. And also, not even to get into that, you have to start a whole new thing, a whole new business model. You put your ego to the side. I mean, what kind of was it the leaders that you saw them doing it that inspired you? If they can do it, you can do, or kind of what had you give you that motivation to be able to say, I can do this here and get out all this debt here?
That's a really good question. I think that was part of it because there's something about seeing is believing. You have to see it first. You can't unsee it once you see it. You can't not want it once you see that somebody else has it. But it was much more than that. Matt and I hosted a conference call one time about 6 months into the business. And a lot of you guys have probably done this. You've created like a vision board and you spend some time dreaming. You picture the house that you'd like to have one day, the car, the vacations, who would be in your life, who would you spend time with, who would you be like? And so we did all this and we realized after that conference call, we did this whole training and Matt was like, "Do you ever wonder like we've always been extremely motivated, like extremely motivated, but we didn't have a vision board. What drove us? We weren't chasing a house, we weren't chasing a car, we weren't chasing like these tangible things. Why were we so motivated?" And I realized it was after I listened to Tony Robbins. He says that the strongest human driver, the biggest human motivator in existence is being true to who you are.
Mm,
You can only do something. Like, have you ever tried to sell something you really didn't believe in? And you can only do it for so long before it eats away, and you just say, I just can't do this anymore. It's not me. Have you ever heard of somebody that has tried to quit smoking, but that just can't? It's not because of the habit, it's because that they see themselves in their identity as a smoker or somebody that has a hard time losing weight. It's not just their current situation, it's who they are, and until they can detach from their identity and start seeing their future ideal self as who they are. We spent time because where I was at, I had always grown up thinking, I'm going to be a great husband. I'm going to be a great provider. I'm going to be a great father. I'm going to be the best that I can be in every area of my life. And in that reality, in that moment, I'm in all this debt. I'm sleeping in the guest bedroom. I'm a terrible provider. I'm not a good husband. I'm not the example to my kids that I want to be. I'm not who I know that I am. I know I'm supposed to be a successful business entrepreneur. And when I look at the reality of my environment, my situation, this isn't me. And when you're living a life that's not you, you don't need to picture a house or a car as something to chase. It's just not who you are. It was just this internal, there's external motivators and there's internal motivators. This was an internal motivator. It wasn't something I wanted to fix. It wasn't something that I wanted to change. It had to change. It was an absolute necessity that I have to become the person that I know I was created to be. And that's what, and then you spend time thinking about that. You spend time seeing the vision of where you want to be. And this can be really hard when you're in what I say survival mode. When you're so far behind on your bills, everything in your life, like you have all these obstacles, and it's really hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel. But you have to give yourself some perspective. You have to like pull back from your own situation and give yourself, like, where do I want to be in 5 years from now? Where do I want to be in 3 years from now? Will the things that I'm dealing with right now, the obstacles that are right here in front of me, are they really going to matter in 5 years from now? You give it perspective, you give it some distance, and you spend time seeing where you want your life to be, who you want to be doing life with, where do you want to be living. And then here's the most important part. You see the vision, but you rehearse the feeling. What is it going to feel like when I get there? And you feel, here's the funny thing about the brain. The brain can't tell the difference between feeling it in the future tense and feeling it in the present tense. It's the same feeling. If you
Mm.
spend time feeling what it's going to be like when you're there, you're not going to want to go back. And the more time you imagine the feeling, it's gonna become this thing that you have to have. And that's what drives you. That's what motivates you. Now you've attached your daily work to that future result. And it
Mm.
does, and the grind goes away. Like this thing that is like, man, this is just so much work and I don't like it. And it's because you haven't attached the future vision to it.
So
So
good.
that's what drove me. That's what continues to drive me. You have to keep thinking about where you're going, who are you becoming, where do you want to go, where do you want to end up? And that's what ultimately motivates you.
That's so good. Start with the end in mind. And a lot of people that we see is they focus on everything that's going bad. You know, they focus on they could have like someone in your shoes could have focused on the debt. They could have focused on that. I mean, that's a practice you had to train yourself to be able to journal, to that discipline and journal, to be able to sit in that, to be able to see that. And those daily disciplines really shape your life, like the Slight Edge talks about. Now, you said that somebody that his name is Doug McGowan. His story is the one that truly impacted your life the most. I mean, that a reason why you go into symmetry, right? If I'm saying that correctly, kind of talk to me a little bit about that because I want to dive a little bit into that a little bit.
Well, he introduced me to the business.
Okay.
He was the guy, he was a good friend. All of us have those good friends who are like really funny and everyone loves them, but they've never had any financial success. He was a truck driver. Love the guy, but never normally would take financial advice from him. But he started the business. And in his first month, he made about $10,000 back then. The second month, close to 10,000 again. That got my attention. Um, but 6 months later, he wasn't in the business anymore. He had some health issues, and unfortunately, he's here, he's with us, he's alive, he's healed, everything's great. But it derailed him and he never got back on track. Um, so
I understand.
that was it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, you saw the vision and you stuck with it. I mean, that's all you did there. Now, I want to ask you a question because you're still innovating and you're still thinking bigger. Kind of give me like a practical step for that, where someone that's like in the struggle, in that season of their life where they're the day to day, they're in the grind, they haven't seen the light in a tunnel. What's a practice you recommend everyone to do? I know you kind of touched on a little bit the journal thing, but can you just dive a little bit deeper on what you do to really see that end goal?
Yeah, I spend time with people that have the life that I want, the results, whether and if you don't have those people like physically in your life, because I didn't, I would watch YouTube videos, I would read about them, I would like you can spend time with Tony Robbins by reading Tony Robbins books or watching videos. So just the more time you spend around it, the more in reach you realize that it is. It's not so far away that it's unobtainable. Um, So that was a lot of it, like spending time with Edward Pritchett and different people that I could spend time with, Brandon and Casey and Brian Pope, any opportunity I could have. Um, but I also realized the importance of self-talk. What do you say to yourself? Your voice, like you could have somebody else encouraging you or discouraging you. But the words that come out of your mouth are 10 times, literally 10 times more impactful than the words that somebody else says. So a lot of us seek like acceptance and affirmations and from everyone else, but inside we keep repeating the negative thing that you can't do it. What are you thinking? You don't belong here. And so all the encouragement, you're going to need more than 10 times the encouragement to overcompensate for your own. So when I realized this, that the voice inside, and we always have two voices, but the voice that you feed is the one that always wins.
Hmm.
That's the one that always wins. So for me, I had to, and it's really easy to have negative self-talk, especially when you failed a lot and things just haven't worked out. But your attitude is everything here. It is everything. Your attitude, the way you show up to an interview, the way you show up to an appointment, the way you show up to dial times, everything is determined by attitude, and attitude comes from self-talk. So if it's that important, I got to wake up every morning with something positive, speaking positivity and life into me. And I start my day a lot with YouTube videos, whether it's prayer, whether it's inspirational videos, whether it's sermons, whether something positive speaking life into me. And then I end my day with the same thing. And there may be even sometimes throughout my day,
Hmm.
because sometimes it's just hard with whatever situation we're dealing with to go back to that negativity. So I've got to catch it. And before I allow the negativity to become something that I speak, whether it's inside or outside verbally, I've got to replace it with something positive. And the more you do that, the more that you retrain your brain to always think positive. And so I started to encourage myself, like speak. And so a lot of like the speeches and the things like that that I've done over the years have really been times that I've talked to myself. I just share it with everyone else. It's like it's really like speeches written for me. It's conference calls that are written for me to be able to say, you can do this. You've got what it takes. Don't listen to the negativity. You can do, if someone else can do it, you can too. You just have to stay consistent. So I would say self-talk is one of the most important things that you can possibly develop here.
That's so good. And the one thing I want to add to that, the self-talk is the consistency part of that, like consistently doing that self-talk. You can do it for a week, you may not see anything change, but yeah, the reframe. And Brad Smith, as you can see, he became that. He lives that now, but it wasn't overnight. He said, "Oh, I'm an awesome guy," once. And he's like, "I'm done." No, he trained himself every day, and he programmed himself to view life from a positive lens. So that's amazing, man. I want to get a little bit off mindset here and go more into, the finances side of things, because you came from the other business and you say everything was going away, and I see that in the 8 months to a year, you're making more here. Or tell me a little bit about that, like profitability wise in this business, and you're at the other company.
I made more in month one than I ever made here. I ran that business for 10 years, and on the outside, we looked really successful, but I didn't pay myself ever more than maybe 35,000 in a year, taxable income.
Hmm.
And then I come here and in month one, part-time, $9,100. Month two, a little over 10,000. And I didn't have a huge success like a lot of people did right out of the gate. My first year, it was about 7 months of work because I had a couple months where I was moving and relocating and doing some things, but it was about 7 months of work. And I grossed $72,000 in income. I netted 60, about $12,000 in lead costs back then. So I netted 60. And I'll tell you, full transparency, when I realized at the end of the year and we did taxes, what my thought about that was. Now, it was more than I'd ever made, but I called Matt and I was like, man, I feel like I should have been paid more for the work I did. I worked hard. I mean, I was gone. Like there were nights that I'd come back home at 1 o'clock in the morning from being in people's houses. I'd leave at 7 in the morning, driving 2 hours, and recruiting and building a team. And I feel like I should have netted more than 60,000. And then year two, we had a full year at that point. And in year two, I brought in about 183,000, but I spent 23,000. So I cleared about 152, 153 that year. And I called Matt after I realized from taxes again, uh, I'm pretty happy with that income. I feel like for the first time ever, we got paid what we were worth. And then the third year, Matt called me and he was like, did you see how much money we each made last year? And we looked at it and we started laughing because it more than doubled for each of us that year. And he said, I think this is the first time ever we've been paid more than what we were worth. We're not going to tell the owners this. But then from then on, it kept doubling and kept doubling. And it was got to a point, and now we're out of the field, like 3.5 years in, I'm not in the field anymore at all. And it's just passive. And we go from 50,000 a month to $100,000 a month. And it kept growing, it kept growing. And I realized that in business, like we're so used to an employee mindset where we work hard and we get paid on Friday. Whether it's 1 week or 2 weeks, we have consistent, we put the time in 40 hours a week and we get paid. And then 40 hours a week and we get paid, and 40 hours a week we get paid. And you come here and you work and you work and you work and it's like, where's the money? Where is the money? I just keep buying leads and I'm investing and then in year one, you work more than what you think you're worth. In year two, you get paid what you think you're worth. In year three, and this is if you're consistent. If you're a roller coaster rider, it might be more than that for you. But if you're consistent, finally, you get to a point because it's system driven income. It's not time driven income. It's system driven. And so it builds on itself. And over time, you create this system driven income that you couldn't stop if you wanted it to. Think about it. Like, this is humbling to think about that I've got so many people on my team that are chasing things. They're chasing it for their own reasons. They're not working hard for me. They're not working hard for they're working hard for their family and for their legacy and for their future. And I could tell them, hey guys, I'm retiring, and they're not going to go anywhere. They're not going to quit. Think about that. That's so awesome that you can create that here. Everyone can create that here. But it takes a long-term perspective, and yet you just have to know that there's sacrifice in the beginning. You're sacrificing that paycheck on Friday in order to build something that you can count on forever, that you can grow forever. So I just think it's a trade-off that I would take every single day.
That's so good. That compound effect is real. Wow. And you're very system driven. And I love that 'cause for someone who's that innovative to be able to throw your ego away and just follow the system. Because you say systems over dependency for your agents, correct? Now, one thing I want to tie us all together on is like, how do you help new agents go from fast money to legacy, impact, and like creating that future for them?
So Casey is, I love what Casey is a simple guy, and that's why he's so successful. I tend to complicate things, and I have to remind myself that, hey, you're making it way too complicated. There's just two boxes. There's production box and there's the building box. How many appointments did you sit on? How many interviews did you have? The nice thing about those boxes, you can't fit excuses, you can't fit reasons, you can only fit numbers. And it's the consistency in those things. Um, Here's the way a lot of people think they can see maybe key leader, they can maybe see agency owner, but to see getting to 130 and equity partner and having five 130s under you and getting to a two, three, $4 million a month agency, it's so hard. You have to understand this business is built on building blocks. They're just building blocks. So it's kind of like if you wanted to build an 8,000 square foot house, it's not that the bricks are bigger than on a 2,000 square foot house. There's just more bricks. You have to start with a bigger blueprint. If you have a bigger blueprint, a bigger dream, a bigger vision, it's the same bricks. They're not heavier. They're not harder to manage. Building blocks to me in this business are team leaders. If you get one team leader and you help them get a team leader, you created a key leader. If you help them get a key leader, you created an agency owner. You help them get an agency owner, you created an agency director. You help another agency owner, you created a regional agency director. The entire plan is built on building blocks of team leaders. You just help somebody write some consistent production, pay the bills today, help them with recruiting, help them get a writer or two, create a team leader, and you just do it again. You're always working from the bottom and it's growing to the top. So start with where you want. What's your blueprint? What are you trying to build? What are you trying to create? And then just use the building blocks to help build it. It's that simple. Don't overcomplicate it. It's not that complicated. People want to know, okay, now that I'm agency owner, what do I need to do differently? Nothing. I'm a rad now. What do I do differently? Nothing. Don't change anything. Just keep doing it. Well, I'm a 130 now. Ah, there's a little bit maybe you might add, but keep doing what you're doing. That's it. Don't change it. It worked. So keep doing that.
So simple, bro. Thank you so much, Brad. I know we're at 1 o'clock here. Scott, you want to say anything? Okay. Brad, thank you so much for your time. That was so much wisdom, and I'm gonna apply the simplicity of that today and get my boxes checked.
Awesome. Glad to be with you guys. Thanks for everything. Have
Thank
a
you,
great
Brad.
day, guys.
You too, Brad. Bye.